Hi everyone! Do you like my collection here? I have a stapler, a clip, some tape, and a ruler. What do all these things have in common? What do a stapler, clip, tape, and ruler all have in common? They're all office supplies, but one of these things is not like the other. If you had to choose one of these items that was different, which one would it be? Which of these items is different than the others? If you guessed the ruler, you are correct. The stapler, clip, and tape are all used to bind things together, whereas the ruler is used to measure things. In this activity, we grouped items together into categories, organizing them by features that are similar or belong together. This is called classification. What are some things you can think of that we might classify? We use classification all the time. In the past, we've talked about three forms of matter: solids, liquids, and gases. How about plants and animals, or the four seasons? It can be very helpful to classify things to notice the similarities and differences between them. In music, we classify instruments into musical families. They are grouped based on how they are played. For instance, the flutes that we explored are all part of the woodwinds family. This is because we use our air or our wind to play them. This is a set of panpipes, also part of the woodwinds family. Notice as I play how the pitch or the note changes depending on the length of the air column inside the tube. There are other instruments that fall into the woodwind category, such as the clarinet, oboe, saxophone, bassoon, and English horn. Have you ever heard any of these instruments? They're not always made of wood, but you do blow into them to create sound. Let's visit our friends at the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra to hear some woodwind instruments. There's another related group in the winds family that has its own name, called brass instruments. These are also played using your air, but you can't just blow into them. You have to buzz your lips in the mouthpiece. It will sound like this. It reminds me of a duck. These instruments are usually made of a yellowish metal called brass. The brass family includes instruments such as the trumpet, trombone, French horn, and the tuba. Have you ever listened to brass music before? Here is a tuba, the biggest member of the brass family. Since it is so big, do you think it will have a high-pitched voice or a low-pitched voice? If you think the tuba has a high-pitched voice, raise your hand. If you think the tuba has a low-pitched voice, raise your hand. Let's find out. Another well-known group is the string family. This includes the violin, viola, cello, double bass, and guitar. What do they all have in common? Strings, of course. They can be played by plucking the strings or using a bow. Let's hear a little cello from our friends at the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. Finally, we have the percussion family, which includes instruments you can shake or hit. What instruments can you think of that would belong to this group? There are many instruments in the percussion family, including drums, xylophones, maracas, bells, cymbals, and many, many more. Here's an example of percussion music. Let's think back to our glass xylophone. If I blow into this bottle, what musical family would it belong to? The woodwinds family, because I was using my air to produce the sound. But if I tap on the glass, it becomes something else. Now I played it as a percussion instrument. So depending on how I play the sounds, this same bottle could belong to either the woodwinds family or the percussion family. To determine which musical family an instrument belongs to, you can ask 3 questions. Number 1, what is the instrument made of? For instance, is it made of metal? Does it have strings? Number 2, how is sound produced? For example, do you strike it, bow it, or blow into it? Number 3, if it is a wind instrument, do you buzz your lips to create the sound? Let's review with a game. We'll hear a short excerpt from a chamber group and see if you can guess which musical family is represented. Go ahead and write down your answer after each one, and we'll check our answers at the end. What did you think? Here's number 1. Let's see what we have. What are the instruments made of? Wood, and I do see strings. How is the sound produced? They are bowing the strings. This one is easy. It's the strings family. Now for number 2. What are these instruments made of? Metal. How is the sound produced? By blowing into the instrument. But more than that, they have to buzz their lips. So these instruments belong to the brass family. Here's number 3. What are these instruments made of? Wood. How is the sound produced? By blowing into the instrument. These must be instruments from the woodwind family. Lastly, here's number 4. What are these instruments made of? Wood and metal. How is the sound produced? By hitting the instrument. I know! These belong to the percussion family. Fantastic! You are doing awesome at instrument classification. I wonder what it would sound like if we took all these musical families and put them together in one big symphonic orchestra. Let's find out. Here's a DIY project you can try on your own. First, watch a video of a musical performance and see if you can guess some of the instruments that are playing. Then, use your questions to determine which musical family each instrument belongs to. Later, you can share what you found with your class. Thank you for joining me today and learning how to classify instruments into musical families. I'm Miss Liz from the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra Sound Discoveries program. See you soon!